I'm going to read you a thread that I put out earlier today. The best cure for imposter syndrome: stop saying you have it. Labels are dream crushers. Your words matter. I want to make a video about this now. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. This term, imposter syndrome, really irritates me. It annoys me. I don't want to say that I suffered from it for years. Like, number one, let's define imposter syndrome. And we're just going to go right to the dictionary. I'm going to read to you what Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines imposter syndrome: a psychological condition that is characterized by persistent doubt concerning one's abilities or accomplishments, accompanied by the fear of being exposed as a fraud despite evidence of one's ongoing success. And the way that I define that kind of in layman's terms is we just don't believe that we deserve it, right? Or we can live up to it. And there's been an entire industry, in my humble opinion, as an observer of human beings and really, really paying attention to the words that people say and the reasons why they are not where they want to be. And this is one of the things that comes up. Well, I have imposter syndrome. First of all, it is not a flippin' disease. You do not have a syndrome. And it's a label that you put on yourself. And an entire industry to solve this problem has been created, and people are making money. I don't want to say preying on it. It feels like it a little bit, because I think a lot of people will say, yeah, that's me. I've got that thing. I've got that syndrome. I've got that disease, that imposter syndrome, that doubt. And let's just call it what it is. Okay. We don't need to have this fancy term, industry jargon that people are making money off of to help you cure. You don't need to have somebody help you cure it. You just need to understand that doubt is something that we all battle with, right? But it's not the reason that you're stuck. The reason that you're stuck, and I'm talking specifically about starting your own business, because that's what the show is all about. The reason that you haven't started your own business is not necessarily that you don't believe you're worthy of it. It's that you don't know what to do first, right? And instead of just admitting that, like, hey, I don't know what to do, you say these things like, I don't have enough time. I'm afraid of losing money. I'm fearful of how I'll look. I have imposter syndrome. I have analysis paralysis. And let's just break it, because you start saying all that stuff. It's like, that's a lot to overcome. The reality of you not starting your own business is that you don't know what to do first, because there's a lot of things that need to be done in all of the steps to launch your business. Decide the business, how I'm going to deliver it, who I'm going to help, what CRM am I going to use, how am I going to get leads. I mean, you start doing that, and then, yeah, of course, you're going to start saying that, all these things, which is, I just don't want to do it. I was interviewing earlier one of our members, Michael, who has a massive Instagram. He's blowing up on Instagram. I shouldn't say it's massive yet. We'll get there, but he's blowing up on Instagram. This is one of the things that we talked about. I was like, he just simply didn't believe in himself, but he had all these things that he was looking at and he didn't know what to do. And the first thing that we did was just decide, like, evaluate what you could potentially do as a business based on what you already know how to do and what you like. And he found that perfect intersection, right? Like, he knew about soccer and he loves doing it, and he found it. And then he just took action. And he admitted on the podcast, he said, this wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it was. And I didn't really have imposter syndrome. I just told myself I did, because I didn't know what to do. And I just want you guys to start thinking differently about these words, these labels that you put on yourselves. This is probably the second or the third time that I've done a video about this, because I just think it's a dangerous thing to label yourself, because no one else is telling you that you have imposter syndrome. People don't come up to you and say, hey, you have imposter syndrome. It's you telling you. And then the people who can help you get over that for money will say, hey, I can help you with that. I suffered from that too. And I just say, stop saying you have it. You don't have it. tell the truth, which is you don't know what to do, or I don't want to do it. A lot of the words that we use are designed to make ourselves, they're intentional, they're designed to make ourselves feel better about why we're not doing what we know we should be doing. And again, I'm never going to tell you what you should be doing. I am going to tell you that you shouldn't label yourself. All right. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you more what not to do, because I think that's more important than what you should be doing. Most people know what they should be doing. I think a lot of people don't understand what they should not be doing. And this is just a dangerous place to go. And in our community and with all the one-to-ones that I coach, it's just not something that we talk about. Like, I just don't like that word. I don't like that phrase, imposter syndrome. And I really wish that people would stop talking about it, because that's not, you don't have a syndrome. You don't have a disease, right? You have an inability to take action. And then you have to, it's because I can't take action because I have imposter syndrome, because I have shiny object syndrome. Another syndrome that is, again, that you're just distracted, right? It's not because you have shiny object syndrome. You don't know how to focus, and you don't understand the power of focus, and you don't understand time management. So get to the root of the problem. If you're going to say, hey, it's because I have shiny object syndrome, all right, well, how do I get rid of that? It's very simple. Solve that problem, right? If you have shiny object syndrome, or you're telling yourself you have it, well, get to the root of that. Why do I have shiny object syndrome? Maybe you shouldn't be scrolling on social media. Maybe you shouldn't be watching the news. Solve that problem. If you're telling yourself that I can't do this because I can't start a business because I have this disease, this syndrome, I'm bad at time management, solve each individual problem. Like, you don't know what to do. That's what you do. You go out and you attack each one of those labels or problems that you say that you have, that you've convinced yourself that you have, maybe because you heard it somewhere else, and go attack those individually and do it one by one. Time management is fixable. You can get better at time management. Not feeling worthy, not feeling deserving is fixable. It's just how you speak to yourself. You can literally talk to yourself differently and do it. Start today and do it every single day, and you will crush that. That will go away. Will it go away permanently? Probably not, but it'll be in the background. And when it comes up, then you'll know, like, when the doubt comes up, you'll know, oh, that's just him or her, we're just reminding me. And then you're aware of it, right? And you can build that awareness through a bunch of different, methods. You can start meditating, right? You can journal. You can just be more conscientious of what your thoughts are, because your words matter. Like, how you speak to yourself matters, right? You can try affirmations. You can start writing down positive words. You can have a gratitude practice. There's a bunch of things that you can do to crush some of these fears, crush some of these doubts that you have. And you'll never have to say that I suffer from imposter syndrome again. Like, you'll never hear me say it. For me, it's black and white. If I'm not somewhere that I want to be, that I say I want to be, like, I want this, it's because I'm not doing. I'm talking, and I'm not doing it. And it's not because, like, I'm not here because of something else. Like, I'm not here because of me. Like, and then I put and then the period, end of sentence. Like, that's it, or exclamation point. I'm not where I want to be because of me. Not because, the timing is bad, or my life sucks, or I hate my boss, or that, but, like, no, it's because of me. And are you going to have roadblocks in your life and challenges and crappy weeks and months? And yes, you are. You are, but it's not because you have imposter syndrome. Okay. It's because you don't know what to do. Solve for what to do.